Alrighty, this is P.O.C. The entity is engaged in criminal summoning and stalking, following from the Stater brothers. That's what this is. In this specific environment, there is no mistaking. The entity that's following within the environment, they're stalking with sirens, engaged in criminal surveillance, doing so while this is uploading on the internet. The Ontario police are being disbanded for conspiring my murder and keeping me under surveillance. And this is what they pull out every time I start uploading evidence. Oh, you know very well who I am, and you know what I'm doing on my device, but you don't have any warrant, you don't have any probable cause. There's no pending case on me. You've been lying regarding what's your interest in me and what you've been doing. Things like stating that I am a criminal in violation of the municipal code, and that's why you're in my presence, when you're really engaging in what is stalking, exhibiting severe mental illness in doing so. Now, this is what this ongoing cackle of demons are engaging in on behalf of this agency right here. This agency that sounds sirens. These cowards turn the sirens off the moment that I start recording this video right now. These demons are being committed. These right here, they're stalking on behalf of the Ontario police at the location where the entity is keeping me under surveillance overnight. So this overweight, hefty demon right here has her legs spread out, stumpy, engaging what is stalking and having the time of their life while they're harassing on behalf of this agency that's stalking me because they're hostile as I document them. And while I'm uploading the podcast, okay? This Mike LORENZ is going to prison. Let me show you his face. Not my face. Let me show you his face, because Mike LORENZ is going to be federally prosecuted for the pattern of conduct that's underway by the sex offenders who are the Ontario Police Department, engaging in what is the criminal pattern of conduct. This is psychopathic pacing. What they're engaging in right now, this is mentally ill behavior. This is what you're looking at right here while they are stalking. Monitoring on my device is what is also being accomplished, but this is the entity that's engaging in psychopathic pacing with regard to stalking me on an ongoing basis, monitoring on my device while they're creating light activity, doing so in relevant position to me in that engineered environment where the entity does things like keep a fake sun, a fake moon, and engineer like multiple shadows everywhere. This is the entity that's engaged in real-time federal stalking in violation of Title 18, Section 2261A, subsections 1 and 2. Pay attention to where they're flying. This is what they were doing just moments ago at Stater Brothers, and they followed me to 224 North Euclid Avenue. This is where the airport was stalking, and I'm documenting the entity through the neighborhood while they're also engaged in criminal summoning. This is informing the murder that the same entity, LAPD, committed regarding the skateboarder in the middle of the street. The Los Angeles Police Department are disingenuous, and they are lying while they're engaging in what is executing the entity that is engaged in federal group stalking and monitoring. In other words, the LAPD killed the people of the state on the skateboard because that was a third party. Okay, but nonetheless, the government's engaged in stalking. They're engaged in the use of sirens with regard to audible activity while they're engaged in this level of surveillance, and they're doing so while I'm publishing the evidence of the podcast, okay? This is P.O.C. It is currently 11:08 p.m. This is the entity that's engaged in this, and I want to be clear. Jason Fields is going to prison. Mike LORENZ is being federally prosecuted for the pattern of conduct underway by this department. This ongoing impunity is informing federal damages and what is necessary as a matter of law, disbanding this agency that's not engaged in law enforcement. They have no immunity under the law. They are not engaged in the execution of the duties of officers. They will be going to federal prison upon prosecution as domestic terrorists, because that's exactly what this is. This is gang violence, and this is the same agency that engaged in what is asserting malicious assertions. Why C. Gerber knows my name, is engaged in gang stalking me under the fake sun right here at this Ovid Family Community Library, where this agency is gang stalking me through the Ovid Family Community Library and engaging in what are excluding me from that venue, a discriminatory basis with the intent to obstruct justice. Discrimination on its face, and it's federal group stalking and monitoring in substance. Sean Thrasher's going to prison, in other words. That's what that means, okay? This is the entity that's engaged in that pattern of conduct, and the entity is engaged in what is vagina monitoring. Not only are they engaged in monitoring surveillance in the bathroom, but on March 2nd, 2026, which the Ovid Family Community Library referred to with regard to what was brought to their attention, what's brought to their attention is that I'm prosecuting them as vagina monitors at Stater Brothers on March 2nd, 2026. What's been brought to their attention is that the entity is being federally prosecuted regarding a shared pattern of conduct by multiple cities targeting at the city libraries, like the city of Ontario is. What's been brought to their attention is that demons like Sean Thrasher are going to federal prison, especially while this evidence is going to be played against him in court regarding the pattern of conduct underway inside of that Ovid Family Community Library in that specific environment in concert with this agency that is stalking me day and night. This is P.O.C. This is federal stalking regarding surveillance on my device. The pattern of conduct, as I've shown, as I publish the evidence, the entity is stalking me by helicopter. As I engage in documenting the people of the state, the entity is stalking me by helicopter. As I refer to its co-defendants, the entity is stalking me by helicopter and Allied Universal. They're not engaged in security, they're engaged in criminal surveillance. And their boss, the CEO, Steve, I'm going to federally prosecute him. His demon-possessed gang-stalking employees, this company is targeting me in concert with that police department in furtherance of murder and psychological torture, and they're doing so on an ongoing aggressive basis while they keep the evidence of me capturing them under surveillance, okay? That's POC. It is currently, by the way, 11:11 p.m., and this is the entity that's engaging in what is surveillance of evidence that's being published in real time. It's relevant to unlawful surveillance on my device, unlawful surveillance in this environment, and it's pursuant to what is knowledge about what it is as I'm doing it. And that is directly rebutting the entity like the Ovid Family Community Library, claiming that they learned about documentation on my YouTube channel, which is no legitimate interest of that entity. It's an admission that they're engaged in surveillance. And those liars, those poor liars that are gang stalking by the idiots that expose them, are going to federal prison, okay? The entity is engaged in what is ongoing damages, which I'm documenting on an ongoing basis, while the entity is excluding me from the Ovid Family Community Library and creating an undue hardship, which is a threat to my life, while the publishing of the evidence is crucial with regard to protecting myself regarding those stalkers as of 2022. That's the whole purpose. You're going to prison for that. Sean Thrasher is going to federal prison. Okay, this is POC. This is relevant to real-time surveillance. And the Ontario Police Department, the Ontario Fire Department, the American Medical Response, those are the demons that are stalking me throughout the city, sounding sirens with every move that I make, everything that I document, and everything that I publish on the internet, where the people of the state are engaging in what is gang stalking, like this band of hostile homosexuals who sit at the bench that are stalking and harassing on behalf of that agency. Psychopaths that engage in like nothing is happening while they're looking, while they're stalking in the path and the entity's targeting you by helicopter. This same evidence is going to have them committed. Okay, that's the POC. It is currently 11:12 p.m. This is the entity that is monitoring this very evidence. This is what I showed when I'm publishing evidence onto X. And the Ontario Police Department are gang stalking me at ARCO, 434 North Euclid Avenue, flying in circles, prolonged circles, psychopathic pacing in the engineered environment. And then they ended that video with Tracy Banks and the Ontario Police engaging in criminal summoning together. Remember that? Tracy Banks that showed up today engaging in the pattern of conduct under the fake sun that remained right here while I am there until after sunset. This is the entity that is, excuse me, you can't see what I'm pointing at. The fake sun that remained right here, which is adjacent to the library. This is the entity that is fully prosecuted already. This is an entity that is engaging in psychotic and delusional and deranged conduct now in front of all of you who now know what Tracy Banks and Jason Fields and Eric Spencer and everybody else that was defaming my character when I wasn't saying anything, while I was kidnapped, while they were trying to control a narrative, while departments like the Ontario Police and San Bernardino County Sheriff and the San Bernardino County Behavioral Health, who I have no relationship with, Arrowhead Regional Medical Center, this government that's stalking sought to create, manufacture, engineer a relationship with me on paper while they sought to steal my identity, steal my money, property, my inheritance, steal what is my good character while they've been engaged in conspiring my murder because Tracy Banks wants to be me. She could never be me. Even when she was my age, she could not be me. But this is what the Ontario Police are acting in furtherance of, murder. That's what's behind flying in circles over me, doing so at Stater Brothers. And I literally, I could not pay. I mean, this is just bombshell evidence as I go from place to place, okay? This is no small thing. These are petty losers. These are vagina monitors, homosexual predators, but they're engaging in harassment with the Ontario Police. Okay, this is POC, and I want to be clear. The entities engage in surveillance through them while they're stalking at the bench. They're engaged in sexual assault and battery through them. I took the image of these unattractive stalkers that are stalking a woman. These are covert, closeted homosexuals who are lusting after my vagina while they're gang stalking me with the police department. That's not a police department, okay? Because they are going by that phrase, that's exactly why they're going to prison. They wear police uniforms to get away with stalking. And this is why the entity is keeping my evidence under surveillance. This is indeed the Ontario Town Square. The Ontario Town Square is where the Ontario International Airport is also stalking. This is the entity that is engaged in this, and this is the prosecution of Paul Leon. He shall be federally prosecuted as, like I've stated, and like you see, You will be, and you are reasonably responsible for the terrorism underway by every department in the city of Ontario. And you are in a position of leadership. You're a part of that same community. He's a demon. He's also a fake pastor, gang stalking off of Euclid Avenue with regard to a fake church. This is and I'm just giving ongoing relevant context. He's going to be prosecuted as a terrorist leader and as one that is engaged in what is funding, facilitating terrorism in the city of Ontario. P.O.C. It is currently 11:15 p.m.